welcome in our second guest today, this time in Studio B, one of our co-hosts whenever one of us are on vacation, Michael Alisa, two-time Doak Walker Award watch lister.
Yeah.
Back on BYU Sports Nation.
2 times, baby.
Yep. When you're named to a preseason award watch list, what's the first thing that goes through your mind?
Honestly, because it doesn't mean anything, really. It doesn't mean much. I mean, well, and you have to tell yourself this as a player, so you don't get a big head. But when you first hear it, you're like, hey, I'm a pretty big deal. you gotta think you're pretty cool for a little second. And then you start to think, well, what if I actually do win? What if I actually do have a crazy good season this year? So it's fun. It's fun, and you got to live it up a little bit and use it to motivate yourself. But at the end of the day, you got to remember, it doesn't mean anything. You still got to go out there and do what you got to do.
And no surprises with Jamal Williams being on the Doak Walker, Taysom Hill, and the Davey O'Brien. So we've been talking about, okay, what's the best QB running back combo in BYU history? What are your thoughts about this?
You mean besides Riley Nelson and Michael Alisa?
Correct.
Besides that,
So after Riley,
2011?
I was listening in when Riley was on. I was like, come on, man, give us a shout out. No, I mean, anyway, seriously though, when I heard this question, I was like, okay, well, my mind immediately went to, okay, now who was McMahon's running back? Who was Steve Young's running back? Who was Ty Detmer's running back? And they had good running backs, but they weren't the type of running backs that we see in Staley, Harvey Unga, and Curtis Brown and Jamal Williams. Gosh, it's so tough. My person, obviously, Luke Staley and Doman had crazy numbers, but hear me out.
Hey, no buts.
Don't fist bump him yet.
No, listen.
Let him answer.
With Max Hall and Harvey Unga, you can't say Max Hall and Harvey Unga without including Manasseh Tonga and Fui Vakapuna, because we all know that they ran by committee. So I'm going to break the rules a little bit. I'm going to say the best running back quarterback combo was Manasseh, Fui, Harvey, and Max.
This is chaos. We can't have this. We just been picking 1 and 1, man. We can't throw fullback. I don't know who the fullback was in '84.
I'll allow it because you're going with me, essentially. Max Hall and Harvey Unga.
Okay, but then you add those two players, and you can't argue with that.
So can I add two players now to mine?
Add 2 players to yours.
I'm going to add Reno Mahe, a 1,200-yard season.
Okay.
Are you talking just running back only?
He can't add a
Fine,
receiver.
I'm going to add my rugby homeboy, Ned Stearns, to the 01 crew of
Look,
Tillman
if the
and
question
Staley.
is the best quarterback running back combo,
Yes.
You're not
one guy and one guy.
I wasn't told those rules. I was said running back quarterback combo, and then if you say that, it's clearly Fui, Harvey, Manasseh, and Max.
Jerem has pinnacled out on the decibel meter more than a few times today.
Ned Stearns story. So I'm walking up the stairs as a teenager. The team's running the steps.
Okay, we did that.
The Richards
I remember
building
that
steps.
very well.
Right.
Good
So
time.
I see Ned Stearns, and in my teenage angst, I get all excited, like, oh, he's on the football team, like, cool. And I go, hey, Ned, like Kermit the Frog or something. And my friend's like, what was that? Hey, Ned.
Some things don't change.
Yeah. Hey, Ned.
And he probably was breathing way too hard to even respond. Hi there.
You started out as a linebacker, Michael. You started and ended as a linebacker at BYU and then had the 2 running back seasons in between. But when you had to defend, and maybe I don't know how much you did in practice against Max Hall and Harvey Unga in that offense. If you did, what was that like?
Well, okay, can I tell you a really funny story about Max really quick?
Yeah.
I blitzed freshman. I'm all excited. I'm amped up. Had a great get off. Sacked him. The blew the whistle. Young freshman, young buck, showing up Max Hall. Big deal.
08.
So I'm walking back to the huddle like I'm hot stuff, and I just feel this ball just drill me in the back of the head. I look back at his Max Hall, and I was like, ooh, I just went red, dude. Like a bull that just saw red. I started running towards him, and Barry Lamb, Coach Lamb, the outside linebacker coach, jumps from me like, not that guy. You don't want to hurt our starting quarterback in fall camp. Don't get in a fight with him. So that was my first experience with Max Hall. Now that being said, defending Max and Harvey was the worst. They were so talented. Harvey was. He was deceptive. He's so big. You don't know if he's going to just truck you and lay you flat in the grass or juke you out of your shoes. So I hated going one-on-one with Harvey. When I'd be caught outside there, and I remember just thinking, like, please don't look too dumb for film later today, as I don't want to embarrass myself. But Harvey was just such a good athlete. It's so fun because he was also very humble in the locker room. And, he would make you look like an idiot in practice. And then he would, pat your back like, hey, keep it up, bud. You're doing great.
Positive demeanor.
Yeah.
Do you know how many tackles you had in 2008? I just looked this up.
I don't.
You want to guess? Just guess.
Like 5.
11.
Oh, okay. There we go.
My lucky number.
11.
Good.
You know how many Spencer Hadley had?
How many?
13. He's in the league.
Who's a statistician, man? You sure they didn't give me like? I must have been missing something.
Yeah, that's a great story about Max. I love that. That's
Michael,
fantastic.
Alisa with us on BYU Sports Nation back in Studio B. Okay, don't go crazy with this next question. On the topic of quarterbacks and running backs, we've talked about Taysom and Jamal, and we've discussed the potential that they have. Maybe they're the leaders after this season. We don't know what's going to happen. But what are your realistic expectations for those two guys in 2015?
Ooh, so man, I don't know if I want to get too much in. What I hope to see from them, what my goals would be for them is to see Taysom throw more, and Jamal run more. I want to see
more volume for each.
I want to see Jamal have more rushing yards than Taysom at the end of every game, and I want to see Taysom utilizing Jamal out of the backfield. I want to see more swing routes from Jamal, more option routes. And I want to see the running back, just like, that's what Harvey and Max had going so well for them was Max really utilized Harvey Unga out of the backfield. And that's where tons of his receiving yards came from was his little option route. He'd run right off the tackle, put a move on the linebacker. Curtis Brown was the first one when they started utilizing that route, the option route. And no one knew how to defend that.
And that's an old 80s BYU thing.
Yeah, the little running back option route out of the backfield. And that was our bread and butter, our staple with Curtis and Harvey. So I want to see more of that with Jamal and Taysom.
Harvey Unga had almost 1,100 receiving yards in his career. That's big time. That really is.
So he had almost 5,000 total yards as a running back between receiving and rushing.
I want to say Harvey Unga was the BYU career all-purpose yards leader before Cody Hoffman broke it in 2013. Interesting. And last year, Michael, I think that it was working offensively. Taysom Hill was a 67% passer. He was running for about 90 a game. He was throwing for, I think, 200 something. And then Jamal he missed the UConn game, but the next 3 he was averaging 99 a game. Mm-hmm. Are we going to see more 2014 BYU offense or 13? 13 was pretty good offensively.
Run heavy, but really
14
good.
was more efficient.
I don't think either of those. I think we're going to go what I'm hoping for. Because I don't know what's going to happen, but what I'm hoping for is that we don't see either 13 or 14. I hope that 15 is Taysom is super pass heavy, and that we're giving Jamal the rock as much as possible. And then of course Algie Brown and those other guys behind him. But I want to see running backs just like the running backs of old. I want to see more. That Luke Staley where he's getting tons of carries and just racking up the yards.
Now, why would you want to go away from Taysom Hill's greatest attribute?
Number one, keep him healthy. That's it. And because nothing against Taysom. Obviously Taysom will win us games if we let him run wild. He's going to get a ton of yards and he's going to shine. And he'll help his Heisman race and he's going to win us a lot of points. But if we want to have a great season, Jamal and Algie have to share the load with running the ball. Taysom needs to stay in the pocket and throw the ball out, dish it around.
Before we go, we would be remiss not to do this. September 5th is not that far away, Michael, Alisa. Hit it!
Countdown to the Cornhuskers.
51 days.
I thought you were going to join us. I don't know. What the heck, man?
Oh.
We made a check the line hot route. I thought you saw.
No, I didn't see the audible.
You were checking out some girl in the stands. What the heck?
I was paying attention to practice that day, Coach. I was tired.
I'm going to throw this in the back of your head, dude.
Oh, speaking of which, it is the worst when you mess up on a play. I just wanted to throw that out there. When you mess up on a play, it is like, I can't imagine a worse thing in life than forgetting your responsibility. Oh, man. Okay.
Michael, Alisa, bringing great lessons of life to BYU Sports Nation.